Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome back, everybody, the 27th day of December 2012. My, oh, my. Just a few more days left in good old 2012, and what a noteworthy year it has been. I'm going to be doing an expose tomorrow on the events of 2012, health-wise. I'm going to roll it all out for you and then let you decide where you should put your hard-earned money when it comes to health care. You're going to go with the MDs, you're going to go with the pharmaceutical companies, or are you going to be smart and go with the people that actually create change, actually create healing, actually create a difference? The naturopaths, and specifically the longevity family of nutritional supplements. So look forward to that on tomorrow's show. It's going to be a retrospective of 2012, and better get ready for 2013, because we're bringing out both barrels in 2013. Let me tell you, we're going to start the year off with a whole week on weight loss. We're going to have weight loss testimonials. We're going to have weight loss, we're going to describe a weight loss contest. We're going to do a lot of stuff around weight loss, but mostly inform you about the reality, the medical reality of the problem with obesity in this country and why the MDs have completely got it backwards. I mean, they have completely gotten it backwards. So that's all happening next year. So stay tuned. And next Tuesday is the debut of the 2013 Fire Your MD Now season. And when we roll out the 2-hour program, so the next time Tuesday, when you hear me in 2013, it's going to be from 3 o'clock Central to 5 o'clock Central, Monday through Friday, from 3 to 5, Monday through Friday. So tell your friends, tell your family, and use this radio program as a lever, as a means to introduce the people in your life that are important to you into the wonders of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about our old friend calcium, because calcium is one of the body's most necessary nutrients and least understood of all nutrients. Now remember who you're talking to. I'm a naturopathic physician. I graduated with my naturopathic medical degree in 1991, and I've been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. Started doing clinical work in the school's clinic, the naturopathic clinic in Seattle, in 1988. So that gives me a great deal of experience with the therapeutic application of science-based, clinically verified naturopathic holistic therapeutics, right? And you would think that having had that type of an education, I would have had a clue on calcium supplementation and mineral supplementation, but I did not. I did not really figure it all out. A better way to say that is I was not properly educated about the therapeutic application of calcium until I met Dr. Wallach a little over 4 years, going on to 4 years right now, 4.5 years, I can't remember. But it was from Dr. Wallach that I learned really the facts, the ins and outs of calcium supplementation. Now, if you take the human body, I mean, just a cursory look at the human body will tell even not anybody that knows anything about medical nutrition that the body has massive needs for calcium. Just look at the skeleton, right? Your skeleton, it's calcium. It's calcium and magnesium and boron and phosphorus and a bunch of other minerals wrapped around a sulfur matrix, a glucosamine matrix, glucosamine sulfate, chondroitin sulfate, right? The sulfate molecules are the framework of the lattice upon which the minerals are attached in order to give the bone its structural integrity and its flexibility. Now, if you were to look at a living bone, it's very different than, Charlie the skeleton hanging up in your high school anatomy class. Charlie the skeleton hanging up in the high school anatomy class, those bones are ossified and they're dead. They're white and they're hard, harder than rocks, right? If you can find a real skeleton, most of the skeletons in classrooms now are plastic, but in any event, If you were to actually look at a living bone, it's not white, it's yellowish orange, and it's quite flexible. It's quite flexible. You can bend it and bend it and bend it, and then it'll snap. And when it snaps, it tends to snap in shards, kind of like, a willow branch. If you try to, or a branch from a tree and it's green, it's not old and dead, it's a green branch. You cut the green branch off the tree and you try to break it in two. It bends and bends and bends, and then it snaps. But when it snaps in shards, right? It doesn't just break in two. It shears off. Well, your bone does the same thing. And it's the sulfur matrix around the bone, inside of the bone, that all of the minerals adhere to, that gives the bone its flexibility. And this is an important thing to consider when we are attempting to support and promote the health of bones, when we're dealing with MD diagnoses of arthritis or osteoporosis or osteopenia, or rheumatoid arthritis, bone spurs, any type of bone or joint problem. Really, it's important to consider this, because in addition to just giving the bone calcium and magnesium and the minerals that it needs, and I'm going to come back to calcium in a second, we need to provide the matrix of the bone that all those minerals can adhere to, because remember, we're holistic. Now, and this is what I learned from Dr. Wallach, that when you supply the body with appropriate amounts of calcium and you give the body the matrix upon which the joints are built, upon which the calcium adheres to and all the other minerals adheres to, then it's like Muhammad Ali's 1-2 punch. It's much more effective when you do it this way. And before I met Dr. Wallach, didn't know anything about this, so what we would just do is we would just give a glucosamine sulfate, or just give chondroitin sulfate, or just give a calcium supplement. And that was what we were taught, and that's what most holistic physicians do, and which is one of, I think, holistic medicine's greatest ironies, that most holistic physicians really aren't that holistic. Because what they do is they tend to use minerals and vitamins and nutritional supplements the same way that allopathic medical doctors use drugs. They use them in a reductionistic fashion, right? We've got Linus Pauling to blame for this. You give massive amounts of vitamin C, or massive amounts of calcium, or massive amounts of vitamin D like David, and call it a day. Well, this is better than taking Fosamax for sure, but a better way to do it is to give the body everything that it needs, and a little bit extra of the sulfur-bearing molecules, a little bit extra of calcium when it comes to supporting the health of bones and joints. So, if you burn somebody's body, someone dies and we cremate their body, 1/3 of the ash, approximately 1/3 of the ash, is calcium. And by the way, most ash, well, I don't care what it's from. Well, I do care what it's from, but most vegetable ash, when you burn a tree down, burn a bush down, burn fruit or vegetables, burn grass or whatever, the ash that's left is mostly minerals. Because as those organisms, as those vegetables and, plants are growing in the ground, they're sucking minerals out of the soil with their root system. And they use the minerals to support and promote their own health. And when a plant sucks a mineral out of the soil, as it metabolizes that mineral, it changes its ionic charge, it changes its electrical charge, and it changes its molecular structure. It changes the mineral that's in the ground from a metallic form to a colloidal form. And colloidal forms of minerals are 1,000,000 times easier for the body to absorb than are the metallic forms of the minerals. And the metallic form of the mineral has the wrong electrical charge. So in order for the body to get calcium, if you were to go to the White Cliffs of Dover, dig up calcium carbonate, which is chalk, right? Dig up that. That's what the White Cliffs of Dover are. If you're just to fill a bushel basket with chalk, take it to a laboratory, purify it, pound it up a little bit more, and swallow it, that's the metallic form of calcium, and that's very, very difficult for the body to absorb. I mean, it's almost impossible. However, If you take that chalk, mix it in with some soil and plant a tree on it, or plant a spinach plant on it, or a tomato, and you let that vegetable grow in the soil that has the calcium in it, the plant or the tree sucks the minerals out of the soil, transforms the metallic mineral into a colloidal mineral, and in the process changes its electrical signature and changes actually the size of the mineral, making it really, really easy for your body to absorb. And plant-derived colloidal minerals are the preferred form of minerals in the body. This is why we need to eat vegetables and fruits. It's not so much for the fructose and the glucose and the eeny-weeny-teeny amounts of protein, but it's for the minerals that those fruits and vegetables have metabolized out of the ground. But a better way to do it is to collect wood ash, put it in your food, put it in your garden. That gives your garden or your food multiple colloidal minerals in a concentrated form right there. And the best way to do it is to come to Youngevity, because we've done that. Youngevity has the exclusive mining rights to plant-derived mineral deposits in Utah. These are from Jurassic days, from dinosaur plants, from Jurassic plants. And those puppies are loaded with colloidal minerals. We dig them out of the earth, purify them again, stick them in a bottle. And when you buy Youngevity's calcium or Youngevity's plant-derived minerals, you are getting the type of mineral that nature intended for you to get, but you're getting it in an extremely concentrated form. And the Youngevity mineral supplements really are the Dom Perignon of mineral supplements in the world. There's nobody that does it better. So you choose, put ashes in your food or just use Youngevity's colloidal minerals. Much better. And by the way, Youngevity's calcium supplement, liquid calcium supplement, is over 95% absorbable. 95%. It doesn't get better than that. So, let's be real. If you could afford it, you would buy the best wine, the best champagne, the best food, all organically grown. You'd just get the best stuff. You'd get the best food. You'd get the best clothes. You'd get the best car, because, good stuff lasts. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty tired of buying stuff from China, and then 6 months later it falls apart. If I get one more T-shirt or polo or dress shirt that's made in China, and it makes it through 10 washes, that's a miracle. A lot of that stuff is crap, and, you get what you pay for, like the fella said. But sometimes you find a company that's ethical, and sometimes you find a company that really has it together and that is providing nutritional supplements of extremely high quality at affordable rates. Youngevity's liquid plant minerals. Liquid plant minerals. 77 organic, certified organic, plant-derived colloidal minerals, concentrated just below the saturation index, is the most effective, most important nutritional supplement anybody can possibly take. It is number one on my list. It always will be. Because the minerals represent 70%, 60%, 75% of your body's needs. 75% of your body's nutrient needs are represented by the minerals. That's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of minerals that your body needs. 60 out of 90. All right, that's two-thirds. All right, it's not 75%, it's two-thirds. Two-thirds of your body's nutrient needs are minerals. Now, the Youngevity supplement, liquid plant-derived minerals is $19 a bottle. $19 a bottle. It's not $190 a bottle, it's $19 a bottle. This is very important because everybody needs minerals. And, well, guess what? You can collect wood ash and put it in your food. You can collect wood ash and put it in your garden, or you can just buy a bottle of Youngevity's plant-derived colloidal minerals. One bottle per 100 pounds of body weight per month will make a noticeable difference in your life. And this is how, this is one of the ways that we encourage people or coax people or drag people into the light of medical nutrition, it's by just having them try the Longevity plant-derived colloidal minerals, because everybody is deficient in minerals, because the minerals are not in the soil, and that's the only way we get minerals, right? Remember, plants can't make minerals, animals can't make minerals. The only person that can make minerals is God. The only place that the soils are found is in the soil. Minerals are only found in the soil. So if the minerals are not in the soil, they're not in the food. Guess what? They're not in the soil, not in the amounts that you need them. So when we take the Longevity nutritional supplement, the plant-derived minerals, for $19 a bottle, it is a game changer, because everybody is nutritionally deficient, especially in minerals. And your body needs minerals to do everything from generate urine to produce alpha and beta and theta waves in your brain. Minerals are required for every single solitary metabolic process in the body. And, you know, if you're of the religious ilk, right, what was man made from? Clay. What's clay? Minerals. So minerals are extremely important to the overall health of the human being, and everybody is minerally deficient, but nobody knows that they're minerally deficient. So when people finally get a clue, take a chance, put down $20 and buy a bottle of the plant-derived colloidal minerals, they feel a difference. And this is what we do, folks. We drag people into the light by showing them personally how they can feel better almost immediately with the therapeutic use of nutritional supplements. And this is how the entire Longevity company moves forward, by generating results. We generate results. Very few nutritional supplement companies do. And this is a very important thing to consider. Plant-derived colloidal minerals are the most important nutritional supplement that anybody can take. And they're so important that the Longevity company has put together 3 different forms, 3 different varieties of the minerals for you. We have the plant-derived minerals, unflavored. It's just a liquid mineral supplement. Tastes very metallic. It's got kind of twang to it. We've put a little bit of cherry juice and a little bit of apple juice in the plant-derived minerals to make it a little more user-friendly. That's called the Cherry Mins. And then we've taken 2 quarts of the plant-derived minerals and sucked all the water out of it, freeze-dried it, and that's in a mineral capsule. It's called Longevity Ultimate Mineral Capsules. So, what's your fancy, Nancy? You want the vitamin caps? You want the mineral caps? You want the cherry-flavored liquid? Or do you want the real stuff right out of the bottle? You know, the 100-proof stuff. Give us a call, why don't you? 855-347-3696 and order a bottle today. Or better yet, just go to fireyourmdnow.com, click on the Longevity button, and order yourself some stuff. We'll give you the wholesale price. Stick around. 866-582-9933 is the number to call. 866-582-9933 if you're listening to the podcast or would like information about the Longevity and nutritional supplements that we talk about, or the Longevity business opportunity that we don't talk about enough. That number, 855-347-3696. We're going to go right to the phones now with Elliot, calling up from Austin, Texas. Elliot, welcome aboard. You are live.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How can I help you?
Well, my father-in-law, he's got a ton of health problems, so I was just going to see. I've been getting him into this stuff. He's ready to quit eating gluten and all that.
Good man.
But he's been diagnosed with urticaria, high blood pressure, arthritis, back pain, Lyme disease twice, diverticulitis. He's had a staph infection in his ear, and they removed his inner ear.
Oh,
and he's had hand surgery. His fingers are bent. We've been trying to tell him to stop going to these doctors for the last year, and then we found you, and now hoping you can give us some advice on how to start supplementing and how to get off of the prescriptions.
All right, Elliot. Well, so very, very good for you, first of all. You really got to give yourself a big pat on the back for going the extra mile here for your father-in-law, for goodness sake. I mean, then this is what it's all about, man. We are all in this together. This is why my colleague, Dr. Wallach, set Youngevity up as a network business so that we can spread our message about health recovery through medical nutrition to millions and millions of people, and we're doing it just like this. So good on you for taking a step on your family's behalf. There's not a lot of people in the world that would do that. Especially with something like this, man, because it's not... you got to take a certain amount of crap to be able to talk to people about this, because we're swimming upstream here. All right. So how much does your father-in-law weigh, by the way?
He's like 150 pounds. He's 5'4".
Okay. So the blood pressure, the hypertension, and the arthritic problem are two arms of the same octopus. The urticaria, which is a chronically itchy skin, that's another nutrient deficiency, especially essential fatty acids. So, the first thing to do is to get him set up with kind of a boilerplate nutritional supplement program that's going to give his body everything that it needs, with a little extra calcium for the blood pressure and a little extra minerals for the bones and joints. So that's the first place to start with him. And what we do, of course, in a perfect world, we would have the legal authority to be able to recommend people, tell them how to withdraw from their prescription meds. But we can't do that. So what we do instead is we encourage people, if you've got a blood sugar issue or you have a blood pressure issue, and you're taking blood sugar meds or you're taking blood pressure meds, then you have to get into the habit, if you're not already, of measuring your blood pressure or your blood sugar every day. Because once you start a nutrition program like this, invariably the numbers start to come down, and you need to be aware that the numbers are coming down, the blood sugar numbers and the blood pressure numbers. And as they do, then the easiest thing to do is just go to a pharmacist or go back to the knucklehead MD that prescribed the stuff in the first place and say, hey, doc, my blood pressure's coming down, what do I do? Hey, doc, my blood sugars are coming down, what do I do? They will reduce the prescriptions appropriately. So that's how we deal with that. For the other meds, that aren't related to blood pressure or blood sugar, really, that's in the hands of the individual person. And what we do is we start somewhere. We clean the diet up, give the body the nutrients that it needs, keep our fingers crossed, and see what happens. Now, once we get improvement, and the blood pressure starts to come down, the joints start to feel better, people are sleeping through the night better, their energy gets better, and so forth. After about 3 or 4 months of being on our program, once we've secured a specific and measurable, noticeable, a subjective change, the person actually feels better, well then, we recommend they go back to their medical professional, have a new workup done, and, tell the doc, listen, doc, I'm on a health kick. I want to get off as many of these meds as I can. And once they start to feel better, their blood work will also improve. It has to. So, really, we kick it back to the patient as far as, how soon they'll be able to get off of their meds. And most medical doctors will not want to just keep people on medication for no reason. So it's a relatively easy thing to get people off of meds as we move further down the track with subjective and then objective improvement. All right, so at 150 pounds, the first thing that I would do, the first thing for 90 days, here's what I would recommend you do. You're going to need 1 scoop of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine in 12 ounces of water 3 times a day. 1 scoop of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine in 12 ounces of water 3 times a day. And you're going to need to take 1 hour minimum to drink that down. I don't want them just gulping it down. I want them to sip on it over the course of 1 hour. Now, conversely, he can put 3 scoops into 36 ounces and sip from it all day long. I've got no problem with that. But we want to put this stuff into the body slowly, and he needs 3 level scoops in 12 ounces each 3 times a day. Now, to secure that much nutritional supplements, he's going to need 1.5 bottles of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine a month. So what do? The first month you buy 2, the second month you buy 1, the third month you buy 3, and so forth and so on. So what I'm going to recommend here is 1.5 healthy start packs per month, okay? 1.5 healthy start packs per month. Buy 2 the first month and then 1 the next month and so forth. Now, the white liquid calcium, the Osteo FX Plus, I would like to see him take 1 ounce in 2 to 3 ounces of orange juice, or you can even go up to 4 ounces of orange juice 3 times a day. 1 ounce of the liquid calcium in 4 ounces of orange juice 3 times a day, with the third and final dose being immediately before bed, and I mean immediately before bed. He throws it down, brushes his teeth, gets into bed. Now, to secure that, you're going to need 1 healthy start pack a month, and then 2 extra bottles of calcium a month. So I'm going to sort all this out for you in just a second. The third thing he needs to take as part of the healthy start pack would be 6 or 5 essential fatty acids a day. Actually, you know what? Make it easier. He can do 4. So he can do 2 with lunch, 2 with dinner of the EFA Plus, 2 with lunch and 2 with dinner of the EFA Plus. Next thing I'd like to see him do is 2, or actually 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. That's 3 capsules 3 times a day. And best to take that, if he can, between meals. 3 bottles of the Ultimate Selenium a month, 3 capsules 3 times a day between meals. And the last thing is glucogel. At 150 pounds, he's going to need 15 capsules a day. 15 times 3 is 30 days, is 450. That's kind of a peculiar number, so we crank that up to 480 capsules. So give him 2 bottles of the glucogel 240 count a month. 2 bottles of the glucogel at the 240 count a month, giving him a grand total of 16 a day. So he can take, 8 with lunch and 8 with dinner, or 5, and 6, whatever floats his boat. He needs to get 16 glucogel capsules down the hatch a day in divided doses. All right. Now, so the best way to do this here is the first month buy 2 healthy start packs and 1 bottle of Cal Toddy. 2 healthy start packs and 1 bottle of Cal Toddy. 3 bottles of selenium and 2 bottles of the glucogel in the 240 count. The second month, you buy 1 healthy start pack, 3 bottles of selenium, 2 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count, and 2 bottles of Cal Toddy. And that's how we do it. And we switch back and forth between those like that. Now, if he does that program, plus the diet, he really does his very best to stay away from gluten, he will notice a difference in something within the first 14 days. I mean, he's only 150 pounds, so this is going to roll right around for him. But please make sure that he's measuring his blood pressure every day. I've seen blood pressure in a 72-year-old woman. She had high blood pressure for 30 years, and it went away in 14 days. It was gone in 14 days. Blood pressure can normalize rapidly under this program. And he needs to know what's going on with his blood pressure, because if his blood pressure is too low, if it's normal because of the supplements that we're putting him on, and he continues to take his blood pressure meds, well, that's going to drive his blood pressure into the ditch. His blood pressure is going to be too low, and he's going to be passing out left and right, and that's not, that's dangerous, right? So that's a good place to start. Tell him 90 days, measure the blood pressure every day, do his very best with his diet, and really, he should start to see noticeable positive change, at least in every 14 days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, Elliot. Anything else?
He did run out of his blood pressure medication, and he was like, I'm just not going to refill it. And I was trying to tell him maybe that's not such a good idea. Maybe he needs to take his time getting off of it. Well,
I'll tell you a story about that. Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. And when I was in medical school, we were taught correctly that a definitive diagnosis of high blood pressure is 3 consecutive readings where each number was elevated above 140/90. Now, so that means, it has to be 145 over 92 or 150 over 98 or 160 over 100, right? 3 times in a row. Now, what most medical doctors do now is when one number is elevated once, they put people on high blood pressure medicine. And, I don't think that that's right. I think that they're just trying to sell more drugs, quite frankly, or the pharmaceutical industry has convinced these cowardly, low-minded, people that, we have to be preventive here, and so, everybody starting at 17 gets on high blood pressure meds because it's only a matter of time until their blood pressure goes crazy. So, really, 140 over 90 or above 3 times in a row means you need to be on meds until we get it down with medical nutrition. Now, if his blood pressure is not, if it's not that high, then he doesn't need it. And if he were my patient in a state where I could, diagnose, I wouldn't put him on meds. I would just do the 100% medical nutrition thing. Oh, and I have another tip for you. The blood pressure cuffs that you get at CVS or Walgreens or wherever you get them from, some of them are good and some of them not so good. The ones made in China, not so good. So when you or anybody else purchases a blood pressure cuff from Walgreens or wherever you get it, it's a good idea to take the equipment that you've just purchased to your local fire station. And when the EMTs are not out on a call, they're just sitting around, playing tiddlywinks, get them to measure your blood pressure with your equipment and then with their equipment and compare the results. It's all free. Well, it's not free. You pay for it with your property tax dollars. But that's a good thing to do because when it comes to blood pressure, numbers are everything. And you have to be sure that your equipment is accurate. And if your equipment's off even, 5 points, you're going to think you have high blood pressure when you really don't. So check it out, man. Knowledge is power. And again, Elliot, I really have to take my hat off to you for taking a step on your family's behalf. Good on you, man. This is exactly how we're going to change the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Peter Glidden, stick around. Take your longevity supplements, change your diet, live long, and prosper. That's my message moving forward here into 2013. Ray's up next, calling from Pennsylvania. The question about skin cancer, I think. Hey, Ray, you are live.
Yeah, well, basal cell, that's something I never asked you about. Also, my left eye has like a lazy macula, which is dragged down a little and which sees lower than the right eye, so I see double at night. Now it could be one doctor sent me I'm going to go to a specialist who only deals with the 6 muscles around each eye. You familiar with them? And he can get to them right through the eye, right under the eyes, it's around the eye, no cutting, if in case one of those or 2 of those muscles need something. And that might correct the dropped macula a little. My eyes have not deteriorated at all in 4 years, so, there's nothing urgent about the eye. Now, but however, this basal cell, I've gotten into that now, and I want to do something about that. There's something, it's on the face, only 2 spots, but one of them is right on the lower lid of the right eye.
All right, well, remember, of course, it's illegal for anybody except an oncologist to treat cancer, right? So we have to... I have to be very clear that what I'm going to recommend for you is not a cancer treatment, okay?
Oh, yes, I understand. Yes.
All right, very good. So what I would do, if I were you, to support and promote the health of my skin, in the face of this diagnosis. And, of course, you need to, make sure that whatever you do, this is tracked appropriately by, a licensed medical professional who can actually tell you if it's getting better, if it's getting worse, or whatever, right?
Yeah, so I have that.
All right, good. So here's what I would do if I were you. I would take a selenium capsule. I would open the selenium capsule up, and I would mix it with a little bit of colloidal silver. A couple of drops of colloidal silver mixed with the selenium powder, make it into a paste, and apply the paste on top of the basal cell carcinoma topically. Put it up, especially before bed, put a little Band-Aid over it so it doesn't mess up the pillow or the bed sheets, right? You want to try to find a way to saturate the cancer cells with the solution of the selenium powder and the colloidal silver topically. So figure out a way to make that work, on your specific lesion. And this, of course, would be against the background of the 90 essential nutrients every day, a healthy start pack appropriate for your body weight, the diet, of course, and extra selenium. Everybody needs selenium because selenium promotes the production of the body's own antioxidant glutathione, and this is why selenium is such a very potent anti-cancer mineral. Selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. It also reduces prostate cancer occurrence, lung cancer occurrence, colon cancer occurrence. I mean, it's really a big deal. And also, Dr. Wallach years ago was giving a lecture in Canada, I think, or somewhere in the northwest of the United States, Montana maybe, and he was talking to a crowd of 500 about his experience with reversing things like macular degeneration, pityriasis, rosacea, and a number of other eye conditions. And a medical doctor in the back stood up and said, "Wallach, you're a GD liar." He said, "I specialize in eye treatments, and these things are impossible to reverse." So in front of 500 people, Wallach made that guy a bet. And that doctor gave Dr. Wallach 10 of his patients who were legally blind. They all went on his nutritional supplement program, and they all regained their vision. And that doctor, remarkably, was so repentant that he recorded a CD for Dr. Wallach called Seeing is Believing. And you can pick that up at Dr. Wallach's website. It's drjwallach.com. That's D like David, R like Roger, J like Jonah, Wallach, WALLACH.com, drjwallach.com. Pick up the audio CD, Seeing is Believing. And really, there's no secret to this, Ray. What we do to support and promote the health of the eye is just more selenium.